Welcome to Croxton Family Racing. I'm your host, Adam Croxton, and with me, our guest host, Pepe Pierre. Pepe?
It is very nice to be joining you today on the League of Champions.
Our four conference champions will be crowned today. First matchup, Precious Metals versus Big Blocks. Second matchup, 1-0 versus Smash Brothers. Third matchup is Team Ferrari versus the Stingrays. And the final matchup is High Five versus Clear Winners. Out of the Western Conference Rockies division, seeded 9 is the Precious Metals versus the Desert Division, seeded 29 Big Blocks. With the gold rolling solo for Precious Metals up first.
This fantastic run takes us into bucket 2 for 5 points.
Right you are, Pepe, and the Precious Metals will take a 5-point early lead. The Big Blocks will be leading off with the black striped 55 Chevy Bel Air Gasser to see if they can match or beat that.
The Tri-5 Terror has me terrified.
Incredible dad joke, Pepe. He lands in bucket 2 for 5 points, tying it up. Big Blocks with 5, Precious Metals with 5.
Thank you for the compliment. It will be up to the Gold Scorcher to go next and get some points for his team, the Precious Metals.
He has a nice clean launch, sending him through the loop and out the jail into bucket 2 for 5 points. That'll put them back on top, 10-5 over the Big Blocks.
Those beautiful stripes show he is a predator. It will be up to the Bone Shaker for Big Blocks to keep his team on pace.
Right you are, and he does just that. Smooth launch through the loop and out the jail into bucket 2 for 5 points. That'll tie the Big Blocks up to Precious Metals. It is now 10 apiece. It'll now be up to Audacious for the Precious Metals to keep the pressure on. This 29-seeded Big Blocks team has really given other teams a run for their money. The big question is, will they pull another upset?
Just as soon as you ask this question, Audacious spills out of the jail and ends up on his roof for 3 points and a completion only.
That will leave the door open for the Big Blocks to respond. Let's see how the pink-striped 55 Chevy Bel Air Gasser handles the pressure.
If he matches his counterpart, he will take the lead here. But instead, he has a failure at the end, spilling out into the jail on his lead.
Absolutely, and with the Silver El Segundo Coupe up for Precious Metals, they have a chance to extend their lead.
This car has scored many times before, but he fails out of the loop and gets 0 points for his DNF.
That he does. It'll remain 13-10 Precious Metals over Big Blocks, with the teal 57 Chevy up for the Big Blocks up next. That door is still open. Let's see if he can take advantage.
Oh, but unfortunately, Big Blocks does not translate to big points. 0 points for him as he falls out of the loop for a DNF.
That he does. The score will remain the same, 13-10 Precious Metals over Big Blocks, with the Mixed Metals Lucid Air for Precious Metals up now. And much like his previous runs, he gets a 0, a DNF falling out of the loop once again. Score remains the same, 13-10 Precious Metals over Big Blocks.
It will be up to the Red Erkstein Rod to see if he can score any points for the Big Blocks.
And we watch as another car spills out of the loop for 0 points and a DNF. Will we see another car complete this course today? It is very odd at this point in the tournament that we have this many non-finishers.
Perhaps the nerves are getting to them. Let's see if the Gold Lucid Air has anything to say about it.
I think he said 0 points DNF, loud and clear. Still remains 13-10 Precious Metals over Big Blocks. And the next up for the Big Blocks is the Red Surf and Turf. He has not performed well, and I don't see him doing well again.
You are correct. It does not even make it to the loop. 0 points for a DNF. The score remains the same, with the Precious Metals Chrysler Thunderbolt being the last to go for their team.
I do hate to make predictions, but I'm seeing a DNF on this one. And that is correct. 0 points. And it's looking like it's going to be zeros all the way out. Still 13-10 Precious Metals over Big Blocks. We'll see if the Street Boss for the Big Blocks can do anything to surprise us.
And much like you, I remain unsurprised by his 0-point finish. DNF for him.
Well, the last two remaining for the Big Blocks have not even made it around the curve very far, so we'll see if 41 Willie's MSD Ignition can do something different this time. And he absolutely does not. 0 points for a DNF and a pitiful showing.
If you were to blink, you would have simply missed his run altogether. It is the Purple Surf and Turf up last for the Big Blocks.
And he is another poor showing. Further than the MSD Ignition, but not as far as the Red Surf and Turf. 0 points for a DNF for him, and that'll end this one 13-10 Precious Metals over Big Blocks. Take us to the walkthrough, Pepe.
None of the cars made it to bucket 4 or bucket 3. There are 2 cars apiece in bucket 2, and the deciding factor was the Audacious at the end of the table. About half of the remaining cars made it through the loop, and the rest did not even make it that far.
Thank you, Pepe. Precious Metals with 13, Big Blocks with 10. Big Blocks are finally eliminated. Next match out of the Highlands division, seeded 6, 1-0 versus out of the Caribbean division, seeded 10, the Smash Brothers, with the Camaro Z28 for 1-0 up first.
He has a smooth launch into the loop and out the jail into bucket 2 for 5 points. This puts 1-0 in an early 5-point lead.
Right you are. Though slightly favored 1-0, will need to keep the pressure on. There are a lot of scorers in Smash Brothers, including their first car up, the Kirby 32 Ford.
And he floats through the track with ease, landing in bucket 2 for 5 points.
And that 5 points will tie the Smash Brothers up with 1-0, 5 apiece. This is going to go back and forth for a while, I think.
I think you might be correct there, with the next one to go being the slide kick for 1-0.
He's been a consistent bucket 2 finisher, and he makes it through the track nice and smooth for another bucket 2 finish. 5 points for him. That'll put 1-0 back on top, 10-5.
It will be up to the Frisk Porsche 911 Carrera RS 2.7 to see if he can keep pace for the Smash Brothers.
And he has a smooth and clean run through the track and out the jail into bucket 2 for 5 points. That will tie Smash Brothers up to 1-0, 10 apiece.
It will be interesting to see which one will be the first one to blink, with the blue 08 Ford Focus up next for 1-0.
He starts with a clean launch through the loop, out the jail, and into bucket 2 for 5 points. That'll bring them to 15. So he will not be the first one to blink, but there's still many racers left. The pressure now moves back onto the Smash Brothers. Shadow the Hedgehog El Segundo Coupe to keep in this one for his team.
And he has a smooth slide through the track, making it into bucket 2 for 5 points. This will tie the Smash Brothers up with 1-0 at 15 each.
Next up for 1-0 is the Datsun 620. He has been hit or miss on his points, so this could be the break that we've been looking for.
But he does not blink, and he ends up in bucket 2 for 5 points. It is now 20 for 1-0 to Smash Brothers 15.
With the one questionable finisher for 1-0 out of the way, it'll be the questionable finisher for the Smash Brothers, the Pikachu 1968 Mazda Cosmo Sport, up next.
And much like the Datsun, he ends up in bucket 2 for 5 points. It is now 20 apiece for 1-0 and Smash Brothers.
Last 4 cars to race are not finishers by any stretch of the imagination, and so this one might boil down to a tie with the red Renault Sport RS01 up for 1-0.
And he comes tumbling out of the loop for 0 points at DNF. And that will leave the door open for the Inkling 17 Pagani Huayra Roadster.
The door may be open, but he may not be willing to walk through it. And he also falls out of the loop for 0 points with the DNF. It is still tied.
At 20 each, it is the Diora for the 1-0 who is the last to go for his team.
So far, this is the closest tie we've seen so far, and the Diora fails to launch through the loop. It may come down to just that. 0 points for him and a DNF. It's still 20 apiece, with the last to go being the Yoshi Track Manga for Smash Brothers.
If he activates the loop launcher, he wins. But he does not. It is 0 points at DNF, and it will come down to who pushed further.
Absolutely, and as we take a look through our walkthrough, we see neither team with a car in bucket 4 or 3. Both teams have 4 cars in bucket 2. There are no cars in bucket 1, and no other completions. It will come down to the Yoshi Track Manga inching out the Diora on the loop launcher. That will decide this one. 1-0 with 20, Smash Brothers with 20. The tiebreak goes to the Smash Brothers. 1-0 is eliminated. Next match out of the Southern Conference Scrublands Division, the Seed 11 Team Ferrari versus Beach Division C2 Stingrays.
With Team Ferrari's 348 to lead off. And he remains consistent, landing in bucket 2 for 5 points.
And with that early 5-point lead, it'll be up to the Stingrays, Blue 72 Stingray convertible, to match or beat that.
I really enjoy the shape of the Stingrays. Something about that car just makes me so happy.
Well, then you'll be happy to know that he just made it into bucket 2 for 5 points. That'll tie this one up. With Team Ferrari and the Stingrays tied at 5, we have the blue Ferrari 430 Scuderia up next.
I hope to see another close race like the last one, going back and forth each time.
Well, it should be expected at this point in the tournament, but the Scuderia has a unimaginable fall out of the loop. First time he has not scored points. That is a DNF for him, and that does not bode well for Team Ferrari.
It will be up to the Stingray's black Corvette Stingray to take advantage of the door left open for him.
And he flies right through that doorway into bucket 2 for 5 points. That'll take the Stingrays to 10 over Team Ferrari's 5.
The pressure has been flipped back to Team Ferrari. It will be up to the yellow Ferrari F4D to get points back for his team.
Right, you are, Pepe. And he has a clean launch through the loop, and he just barely pushes through the jail door. That is a completion, but it will only amount to 3 points. That will leave them behind still. It is still 10-8 Stingrays over Team Ferrari.
That will give the Stingrays, blue Corvette Stingray, a chance to score more points. But he fails to even trigger the loop launcher and will get 0 points with the DNF.
It'll remain 10-8 Stingrays over Team Ferrari, with Team Ferrari's brown Ferrari 430 Scuderi up next.
And much like his companion, he gets launched out of the loop. 0 points for a DNF.
Chalk it up to nerves or whatever you like. More and more cars are getting DNFs in these conference finals. It'll be up to the splattered 72 Stingray convertible to see if he can score some points for his team.
And finally, we see a Stingray complete the course and get 5 points into bucket 2.
And with that 5 points, the Stingrays take a commanding lead over Team Ferrari, 15-8. It would take a perfect score from the Ferrari Enzo to match that. We'll see if he can do it.
He has not scored any points in the past, and he does not do it here. 0 points with a DNF.
Well, this match is already decided. Stingrays will take it. With 1 left to go, the white Corvette Stingray.
Zoe is a beautiful car. He is an old car, and he gets 0 points with a DNF.
And that will be our final score. Stingrays with 15, Team Ferrari with 8. Take us through our walkthrough, Pepe.
No cars in bucket 4 or 3. There are 3 Stingrays and only 1 Team Ferrari in bucket 2. Only 1 Ferrari that barely completed the course.
Thank you, Pepe. Team Ferrari ends with 8, Stingrays with 15. Team Ferrari is eliminated. Our last matchup today comes out of the Northern Conference with the 1-seeded High Five from the Plains Division going up against the 5-seeded Clear Winners from the Appalachia Division.
High Five leads it off with Riveted, one of the highest point scorers, and he ends up with a bucket 4 finish for 8 points. What a good start for his team.
What a massive blow given by Riveted. That will set the bar very high since only the top 3 scorers will count in this. We have Forward Force for Clear Winners up first for their team.
And so it was a clean run. He only makes it into bucket 2 for 5 points. It will now be 8-5. High Five over Clear Winners.
That'll bring up the Buick Grand National for High Five to see if he can add on to their lead.
The Buick Grand National. He needs to get some points to make sure his team stays in this. And he has a smooth run through the track. 5 points into bucket 2.
That 5 points will extend High Five's lead, 13-5 over Clear Winners. It'll be up to the Red Electrac to see what he can do to match or beat that.
Zoe is a consistent scorer. I'm not sure he is going to do a bucket 4 finish, but he does bucket 2 for 5 points.
He cuts down the lead to 3, with Clear Winners with 10 and High Five with 13. It'll be up to High Five's Amazoom to see if he can hold out. If he doesn't, there are so many on the Clear Winners that score. I'm not sure they can hold on to this one.
And in tragic fashion, he falls out of the loop and gets 0 points. Oh, what a heartbreaker.
That gives Clear Winners a chance to take the lead. They just need 1 more to score in bucket 1 or better, with the Purple Electrac up next.
And he has a clean run, taking him to the loop and out the jail, into bucket 2 for 5 points. That will be enough for them to take the lead.
Right you are, and just like that, this one is over. Clear Winners with 15, High Five with only 13, and Clear Winners have several cars left to go, with Horseplay being the next one up for them.
And he also has a smooth launch into the loop and out the jail, into bucket 2 for 5 points. That will increase his individual points, but do nothing for his team.
Right you are. Unless they score a 6 or higher, they are not going to add to their team's points. We have the Super Nat up next for Clear Winners, and he has a smooth launch through the loop, out the jail, and into bucket 2 for 5 points. That will help his individual pursuits, but do nothing for his team. The score will remain 15 Clear Winners to 13 High Five.
The next one up for the Clear Winners is the Clear Speeder. He has been an inconsistent scorer, but he has a smooth launch into the loop and out the jail, into bucket 2 for 5 points.
And that'll help out a lot with his individual pursuits, but will continue to do nothing for his team. It will remain at 15. High Five will still be at 13, with the last racer of the day being the Alien for the Clear Winners.
And he also has a smooth launch into the loop but falls out, as we have come to expect from him. 0 points with a DNF. That is the final score.
And as we take our walk through, we see there is 1 for High Five in bucket 4, but it does not do enough. None in bucket 3. There's 7 in bucket 2, 1 for High Five, and the remainder for Clear Winners, and everyone else fell out of the loop. The final score is High Five with 13, Clear Winners with 15. High Five is eliminated. Taking a look at our brackets.
The Western Conference champion is the Precious Metals. They will go on to face the Eastern Conference champion, the Smash Brothers.
So a 9 seed against a 10 seed in the semifinals for the East and West League Championship, with two big favorites. That'll be the highly anticipated matchup coming up. Moving over to our Southern Conference.
The Southern Conference champion is the Stingrays. They were going to face the Northern Conference champions, the clear winners. With a 5 seed and a 2 seed, it should be a good match.
I think you're right about that, Pepe. And with that, we move on to the round of 4. Let us know in the comments if the final 4 is the 4 teams you expected. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and like our videos.
Comment and share them with your friends. I am Pepe Pierre.
And I am Adam Croxton, signing off for Croxton Family Racing. Stay safe, be free.